Hello, and welcome to Two Brothers talking about four brothers.
That's partly what it is. That's where you've
gonna happen
arrived.
tonight. Yeah, we've arrived.
Actually, welcome to the Arkin brothers talk about four other brothers.
Yes, the Arkin brothers talk about movies. I'm Matthew,
I'm Tony.
and we're going to talk tonight about Four Brothers, starring Mark Wahlberg and a whole bunch of other people, and directed by John Singleton. So stay tuned.
Why wouldn't they?
Talking about cocktails that are stylish, movies great or phony, and how Tony should win a Matthew, and Matthew should win a Tony. But in the meantime, talking about film in the meantime. The Arkin brothers talk about movies.
I need some toilet paper. I ran out.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice new addition.
What was that from? I have no idea what
you don't
that
know.
was.
You don't even know what that is.
Oh yes, it's me doing the imitation of saying that I could have played the guy who needed the toilet paper
From the
in
game.
the game. Yes. Oh, hello, goat.
Oh, hello, goat.
Hello, goat.
Hey, welcome to the show. Tonight we're going to be talking about a movie. We're two brothers. We're in the middle of Punching Brothers month here in the Arkin Brothers studios.
And
movies
we're talking
about
about
brothers.
a movie that I think we have some expertise in, since we are 2/4 of four brothers ourselves.
Yeah, we have some understanding of the territory.
Yeah. I think they're a little tougher than we are. I don't think we could take them. You and me and Adam and Jed, I don't think we could take those guys.
Well, with Adam and Jed, we stand a better chance. With their key, they would be key to the taking these guys, situation.
I don't know about this. I don't know about this cocktail that I made. I made a cocktail in honor of the movie tonight. This is the Four Brothers cocktail that I made.
It doesn't look like anything but something on the rocks.
It is, well, it's a mixture of four things on the rocks. Batch 22 for Mark Wahlberg is the star of the drink, because he's the star of the movie. Then there is Mezcal for La Vida Loca, the brother who's going out with Sofia Vergara, who they call La Vida Loca. Then there's grapefruit liqueur, because
Hello, sorry to interrupt. We're not live.
Oh, interesting.
Matthew, you scheduled the live stream as unlisted, so nobody can look at it.
Oh, so I guess we need to fix that. Hold on a second.
So I can go ahead and change it to public right now. However,
we should start again.
Maybe that would be best. So we'll end it and come back in.
No, because then I'd have to. You know what? Let's just go live, and we'll apologize, and the people on the podcast will get to listen to this whole silliness.
All right, we are. Now
that's great.
Yeah,
live.
It's great. So special. Let us know when we're live, though, because this is very embarrassing.
You're live. You're live.
We're live. Oh my God, we're live.
Now we're live.
There was a great beginning. There was a great beginning to this show that everybody missed on YouTube. Because I messed up again.
Okay.
You know what's amazing? We have producers now, and I still can't do anything right.
Well, don't blame them for this.
I'm not blaming them. What's great is that if Sophia's saying this was a train wreck. If we didn't have producers, you and I would have sat here for an entire hour thinking
that would have been
amazing.
No, we wouldn't have. It's because at some point, Mom would have texted one of us and said, "What's going on? What's happening?
Where's the show? Why aren't you guys doing the show?"
Which happened last week because I was sick last week and couldn't do the show, and so we postponed it. And it was a busy day, and I'd forgotten to call the fans and tell them that we were postponing.
You forgot to call the fan.
Yes. So she was like 20 after, and she was like, "What is going on?
Oh my God.
Where is the show?"
Oh, this is so embarrassing. So I was describing my drink. The Four
Right.
Brothers cocktail that I made in honor of Four Brothers. I'm going to try and make a cocktail every week in honor of the movie. And this is batch 22 because it's the star, like Mark Wahlberg. Mezcal for La Vida Loca, the brother who's going out with Sofia Vergara, who they refer to as La Vida Loca. Grapefruit liqueur, because grapefruit sounds like something healthy that you'd have for breakfast for the family guy. And then an absinthe rinse, because absinthe is kind of fancy and show busy, like the brother who wanted to be a famous rock musician and did drugs and such, more absinthe. All of that over a nice big rock, and it's not the best thing I've ever tasted. It's not the worst.
Well, you're honest. I don't know if that was the best idea to announce that it wasn't good.
On the the batch 22, all the ingredients are good. It's my
alone they're
talent
great.
as
Together
a mixologist.
they are not.
My talents as a mixologist sometimes leave something to be desired, but that's what it's like when you're trying to create drinks. You take some chances. We have a lot of great cocktails with batch 22. We have had some failures as we're trying to come up with our stuff. We have some batch 22 news that I haven't shared with you. I wanted to share it with you live on the air.
What's happening?
We won a gold medal at the New Orleans Spirits competition yesterday.
Congratulations, my God.
And then today,
yes,
we won best in class at the New Orleans Spirits Festival.
Are you bullshitting me?
Oh no, not shitting you. Which means we're eligible tomorrow. We'll find out if we win Spirit of the Year in our class.
And you're now eligible for an Academy Award.
An Academy Award
as well.
Yeah,
these
yeah.
are nominated. These are nominating,
but not in a technical category. I'm not eligible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah. Pretty
wow.
excited. Yeah.
Now, how many awards is that? You've won 2 awards?
We've won
3?
2. We've been in 2 competitions and we won
2 out of 2.
We've won medals, high honors in both of them. Pretty excited.
That's amazing.
I think Seagram's is going to be knocking on the door any day now.
They may be. That's how this stuff works, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I think they may wait a little while. And then had a big week this week because last weekend I got to go to the Amazon Prime. Yes, there we go. It's a photograph of me with our producer Sofia at the Amazon Prime and with the showrunner Chris Rogers.
Our showrunner.
Not our showrunner. The showrunner for Paper Girls. There I am with my tree head. I had a special tree headdress that was created for me by the stylist.
Oh, nice.
These are some nice photos of the Amazon Prime Entertainment Weekly party at the Hard Rock Cafe during Comic-Con. And there we are being crazy.
That's great. That's great.
And
it looks like a nice bash. Look, everybody's having fun. Everybody's having a cocktail.
It was quite an evening. Many cocktails, star-studded evening. You know who was there?
Well, I know.
I texted you a photograph.
Matt Berry was there.
Matt Berry was there. Unterpanze.
Toast of London himself.
Yeah, very exciting.
And Alexis was there, I guess, as well.
Alexis was there.
Our producer. Was Elia there? I don't remember.
Elia was outside trying to break in.
I have to like bite you or something.
Yeah.
A man after my own heart.
When we got there, because security was so tight, they brought us in through what I refer to as the Bobby Kennedy entrance. They brought us,
which is a joke that does not flag you at all by anybody.
No.
Nobody. This show is so yanked right now. I can't believe it.
Did I tank the whole show?
I just think that they're going to stop us.
Is that dark? Why is that dark to call it that? It is.
I don't know if it's dark. It also is potentially illegal to say things like that.
I don't think. No, we used to have free speech in this country, and we might again. We might again.
Oh, it's a long time ago. It's a long time ago, Boomer.
Oh wow, wow! So that was pretty amazing. But what everybody listening should know, if you're listening live, Paper Girls premieres tonight. It drops at midnight East Coast time, 9 o'clock West Coast time, I believe. You can go on Amazon Prime and watch it.
I was just finishing up dinner, relaxing before the show. Amelia and I were flipping around and went to see, like, is it dropped yet? And there it was.
It's
so
there.
I actually saw like the first 5 minutes of the first show just because I wanted to see. I was too curious not to.
So if you're
It's there,
watching
it's
us,
ready to go.
if you're watching us right now, turn us off and go watch Paper.
I feel like bite you or something.
Move, move, move! Let's get out of here!
Oh, good lord, there are future robots.
Nice knowing you, I guess.
Future you is not all that bad. She did give you that rad shirt, which says dumb on it.
So?
Yeah,
On
it's
improv,
great.
that line which says "dumb" on it on improv, genius improv, I think, by Sophia.
It made the trailer.
Yep,
That's intense.
cracks me
That's
up.
intense, Sophia. The show looks great. It looks like I mean, what can I say other than it looks like a show I would watch regardless of knowing anybody in it.
Yeah, if I didn't know,
I'd
if
still
I
watch
didn't know you, I would be there watching it.
Can't wait.
Very
Very
exciting.
exciting.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
we
going to
just-
do tonight after the show.
Because you're done watching The Outer Limits.
No, not done watching The Outer Limits.
Oh, you're not, or
and
the sweater
I'm
detective.
still watching this Sweater Detective, which is the sequel to the Detective in a Vest.
The Argyle Diaries.
I do love my British detectives. What can I tell you? Yeah, I'm watching Endeavour now, which is a prequel to Inspector Morse.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'll wake
No,
you up when I'm done. You hate me.
No, I like an occasional British show. Occasionally, a
Occasional-
British crime
yeah.
show. Yeah, they're great.
No, I've
There's a great series of movies called I think it's called the Red Riding series. You know about those films? That's a series. I think they were made for television actually, or it may have been like a 3-part television extravaganza, which they kind of released here as 3 movies.
right.
And it's really good stuff. You
Is
might
it
really
British?
dig
Is
it.
British?
Yeah, it's British crime, and it's like it's a case that they tried to crack for 10-15 years, and so it spans the different divisions over the, like, in the 70s and the 80s and then the early 90s that tried to crack this case, and deals with police corruption, and it's really good.
True story?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh wow. I don't like true things.
Moving onward.
No.
I have been sick, and I didn't have the COVIDs. But let's put it this way. I feel like no one's really talking about the fact that, like, the common cold has been doing some exercises. It's been
really?
going to the gym.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't have a fever. I didn't have like that level of flu. I had a bad cold, like, and it was horrible. It was
Really?
really, really awful. I mean, no symptom that was like, nearly like going to the hospital. I was fine, but I just didn't want to really live or be alive for that week.
Well, I
At
don't
all.
recall ever hearing you sound the way you sounded when you called me last week. I got a call from Anthony last week about 4 hours before showtime saying, I don't think that I can
It was terrible.
yeah. You sounded like who was that character, Blind Baby, on one of some old comedy album, the Cheech and Chong, or one of the comedy albums had the guy, I'm blind baby. The musician who comes in
Like Tom Waits.
Blind Baby.
I was doing my Tom Waits impersonation.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
So I was very sick, and so watched a lot of stuff, just random stuff, which
Did you
was
watch
fun.
watch Woodworthy Manor?
No, what is going on?
Woodworthy Manor was what they called Well, what's that show? The British show that everybody was watching.
The Crown or the
No, the
Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey. Woodworthy Manor was what they called Downton Abbey on How I Met Your Mother. They were all watching Woodworthy Manor.
You are hitting references tonight that I am utterly baffled. Like we live on different
planets.
I haven't seen anything of anything we've talked about.
Well, hello, goat.
Saw that.
Yeah. Should we talk about this movie?
Sure. Yeah.
We're a quarter of an hour into a 1 hour show about.
Yeah. Well,
about
considering
movies.
I have nothing interesting to say at all because
I
I've been
want to hear
sick
more about your throat.
and I haven't been
your
going to
sinus.
parties and I haven't been going to the Comic-Con and I haven't been enjoying myself out on the West Coast.
There another picture.
I have
of
no
the
stories
party.
that are interesting or worth talking about. So let's just get into it, shall we?
Okay. Oh, those are great photos. What a night that was. Sorry. What were you saying?
Oh my God. Yes. Well, okay.
All right. Four brothers.
4 of them. Count them. 2 and 2.
2 and 2.
Zip up your mouth, Jeremiah. You grow up in a barn?
You want to give
That's
the
the
rundown?
weirdest part of this not weird movie. It's
Very.
strange because there are a couple of moments that are like record scratchingly what?
Yeah. One in
And then
particular that we're
and then-
going to address.
Yeah, and then they're gone, and then it's like a normal movie. But you can't forget these moments happened.
Yeah, there's one record scratching scene in this that we're gonna get to. But you want to give the thumbnail sketch?
Sure, why not? This is a 2005 kind of crime action comedy drama caper about 4 young men who were raised in a rough neighborhood by a foster mom, and they were the 4 toughest kids that she had. She raised a lot of kids, but they were the hardest cases.
She couldn't get rid of them. She fostered kids and placed them in adoption, but she couldn't get rid of them. Nobody would
wanted
take
them at all. And these young guys grow up and they leave the nest, and then the movie begins when, sadly, their foster mother, played by the wonderful Fionnula Flanagan, is killed in a terrible shootout at a local bodega. And they come together at her funeral, and they come back to the old house, and they kind of hang out for the first time together in a while. And what do you think? This is a Mark Wahlberg movie. So I think
it's a revenge picture. They
decide to kick ass in town.
Yeah.
In Detroit.
Yep. They're gonna find the guys who done it.
They're gonna
maximum ugly.
They don't have a lot of faith in the local constabulary. Terrence Howard plays Lieutenant Green, who with his partner Detective Fowler, played by the wonderful Josh Charles, are kind of an inept, potentially corrupt policemen on a very corrupt force, who the kids know are never going to find the killer of their mother, so they go do this on their own. Mark Wahlberg, of course, just got out of jail. Tyrese Gibson just got out of the Army or the Marines.
Yeah,
they don't really make that clear, or maybe I wasn't paying attention. Andre 3000, who plays another one of the brothers, doesn't get out of anywhere. He's been in town helping out mom, trying to do the right thing.
Family man. He's a family man, going straight, trying to build, a life and some investments, real estate deal.
Then you've got some white young man who doesn't have a lot of lines, named Jack. I think he's a brother as well. He doesn't do a lot or say much, but he's around.
He has problems. He had drug problems. He wants to be a musician. There's questions about his sexuality that the other brothers make fun of him a lot for. But by gum, they are going to find the people who killed their mom.
All right.
And
They set mom up. They set her up.
I just for the record, I mean, just a sensitive issue, but I don't think they're actually implying that they're wondering about his sexual orientation. This is actually made clear in the movie. that, I mean, the horrible part of this, and what's great about the movie is that there's a very dark, realistic, part of this, but that he was sexually
horribly
abused. He was
abused.
sexually abused as a kid, and
Yes.
that is part of the same ribbing that he went through. Then, because of that, and his brothers still do.
Yeah.
Glad I made that very clear. For some reason, I thought
These kids are congressmen compared to what they would have been.
There we go. Yeah.
So so they go to get revenge, and what do you know? It turns out it's more complicated than they thought. It
wasn't a random shooting.
It's not such a random shooting after all, was it?
Not after all.
I will say that I really had a good time here, but the idea that there was this went, I just didn't. I decided to ignore that part of it because it didn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Let's just say there are plot holes in this movie that you could drive trucks through.
Yeah.
And
there are plot holes that you could drive season 20 of Law and Order through.
Yeah. And yet I loved this movie. I had a great time watching
Me
this
too.
movie. Okay.
Me too.
I'd
watch it again right now.
What was it that you first, because I know very clearly what it was where I first said, oh my gosh, I'm going to enjoy this.
Did you get lucky?
The minute I realized, I guess it was around the funeral when they all started gathering again and all the guys came back and met each other. The brothers met each other again. And it was certainly by Thanksgiving dinner that I realized, oh, I'm going to like this movie. But there was earlier than that, because I think if you love noir movies and you love like 70s
that's exactly
exploitation, 70s exploitation movies or black exploitation movies, you just get it right there, and it's great.
I said very earlier on, I'm watching a movie that was made in the 70s.
Yeah.
John Singleton made a 70s movie. It looks like a 70s movie. Things are dirty. It looks like,
and not an expensive 70s movie, like a kind of a dirty, kind of a cheap but well-made 70s action movie.
It looks like French Connection and those kind of movies that were just made, I mean, well made, but gritty and dirty and not designed within an inch of their lives.
Yeah, we've had the same response, and I knew that, the script is actually it was really in harmony with the script, because the script is definitely that kind of a movie. It's a old-fashioned, it's apparently a remake of The Sons of Katie Elder, which is a Western, so it's also got this Western quality of it about it. I mean, the minute you say that, you could instantly see just, oh, of course, it's the same situation you've seen in probably 1,000 Westerns, but it's literally the Sons of Katie Elder here.
Yeah.
So it's got this sensibility from the writing, and also John Singleton, who I know from our notes called this movie was like a Saturday night special. Just like, this is what it is. It's not too complicated. He didn't want to make it something more fancy than it is. He really got that energy perfectly. So I'm glad you liked it, because pretty quickly I was like, wow, except for these two strange, oddly placed moments in the movie, which we got to figure out.
Now I know one of them we're talking about the same thing. The mother appearing at the dinner.
Yes.
Does the other moment you're talking about involve a commode?
Yes.
Okay. Well, all right. We're on the same page as to the two scenes that were problematic.
and it's like, and problematic is a good word to use, because they weren't deal breakers.
No.
I mean, I'm actually...
You could have lifted that bathroom scene out of the movie. We should explain what this is for our viewers. It's a scene in which I think they maybe are trying to convey the jocularity and comfort that brothers who grew up in a rough neighborhood, a house together. But there is a long scene in which Mark Wahlberg is on the toilet one of the brothers is in the shower, and Tyrese Gibson comes in and wants to know what this thing is on his Johnson.
Brother. He has something he wants them to check out.
and it's a long scene.
It's a long scene. It's like a 5 to 6 page scene, and apparently it took them 2 days to film it.
Yeah,
and you do kind of wonder what's going on, but again, it's not a deal breaker for me. There was something about it that was hey, Stephen Jules, Arkin Bros 89. Yes, this film always struck me as almost lots of things. It's true. It is
great.
Almost lots
That
of things.
is a great phrase.
Well said. It's strange that, but I like the fact that it was I don't know. I don't know why I didn't find it like a deal breaker for me.
No, definitely not a deal breaker. And even
it might have been a deal breaker for me to perform it. I might have been like, no, I'm quitting now. I'm quitting the movie. But
I would have done the Mark Wahlberg stuff. I would have sat there on the toilet. I would have done that.
Well,
but I'm shameless. I'll do it.
You are shameless. Look at what you've done.
Hello, goat.
Partner, I think your stick is crooked and the weight is off.
So I like the fact that it was kind of an extreme version of like just how brothers are with each other. Although I'd never do any of those things near you. I'm not going to do that with you or my brothers. So I don't know how truthful that is.
Oh, I don't know. I feel so sad now.
Well, I got to rip the Band-Aid off. You know, I don't want you to be under any illusion of that. Yeah. So where do you how are you on the on Marky Mark here? How are you on the old Mark Wahlberg?
You know,
brother.
I always really enjoy Mark Wahlberg, and there were only a couple of moments in here where I felt like he was called on to do things that aren't necessarily in his wheelhouse, like cry,
empathize.
Yeah,
I thought you was a macho man, a tough guy.
Yeah, there you go. When he's doing that stuff, I love him. You know, I want to see him and Matt Damon and Ben Affleck all be in those Boston, Chicago.
They offered this to Ben Affleck and to Matt Damon, and everybody turned it down.
Everybody turned it down. Yeah, but I enjoy watching him.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I agree that there are always no, that's not true, because there have been, I think, a few performances I think that he nailed consistently. Oh yes, Brad Pitt and Vin Diesel also were considered, and they also turned this role down.
Wow, everybody turned it down.
A lot of people turned it down, and I kind of it kind of makes me like Wahlberg in his performance here even more, because he's like the underdog here.
Yeah,
and yet I can't think of anybody else in this part. Like I literally can't.
No,
the only person they mentioned that I think could have been good in it is, I mean, that's not, they were all great actors, but I mean, like, who would have nailed it would have been Jeremy Renner at the time.
Jeremy Renner could pull it off.
But even him, there's something so fun to watch Mark Wahlberg being cocky. It's very Jimmy Cagney. It's very truthful, you know, and very like, you know, he clearly he's not faking that stuff.
Smacks him ugly.
You know, I'm going to say that's one of my favorite lines in the movie, by the way. I have that written down as a favorite line. I'm going to say, you know, they offered this role to so many people, and they all turned it down. I'm going to go on record and say that had they gotten down to me on the list, I would have done it. I would have taken the part.
Well, you would have done the bathroom scene. That could have been what a lot of people were like.
the teeth.
So I'm glad you enjoyed it. You know,
Did you anticipate that I was going to be a thumbs down on this? Is that what you thought?
I did. Well, I really didn't know how you were going to land on it. I thought there was a good chance that you could have just been dismissive of it, because it's a lightweight movie. It's not, you know, it's
Who are you talking to here? I'm Mr. Lightweight. 27 dresses. You know,
Well, it doesn't have that movie's panache and charm, clearly. No, I don't know. I didn't I somehow I didn't know that you would dig it, but I should have, because it has that dirty detective novel, kind of crime novel vibe that you like,
Yeah.
I mean, look, we can it's too easy to say it's fluffy, because there is more to this movie than I think we've been advising people about. I think that there's so many interesting contradictions in it that somebody was really thinking here. Like it's a really dirty movie and very violent, and they're not nice guys, really. They do some terrible things.
They do
Greatest
terrible.
mother four degenerate bastards ever had.
But it's also a movie about love, and it's really funny, but it's essentially about grieving. So it's this funny movie about grief, and it's a really dirty, mean movie about love, and it's like a socialist movie about street crime, because it really is a socialist union pro-union movie also.
Yep.
And all these weird things about it kind of make it feel really on purpose, and maybe a little deeper than it appears, because Singleton isn't over directing it. He's really not. He's just allowing this to be a fun action movie with all these themes in it that stay with you. And I've really kind of thought about the movie ever since.
Favorite, there's some great sequences in this too. There's some gems, little
Great.
The whole sequence where they're trying to get that guy to talk, and he escapes out the window climbing down that rope, and they chop it off, and he falls and breaks his back, and they're down there in the snow. First of all, we got to mention that the movie was shot in the winter in
Detroit.
Or was some of it shot in
Ottawa? It was in Toronto. Yeah,
in Toronto,
right.
but doubling for Detroit, and just it was shot in the winter. It was
there's a lot of snow in this movie, and apparently it's real.
None of it, it's fake. So they're saying we're going to leave you here to die in the snow, and nobody will find you. I mean, it's just, that sequence is fantastic. The car chase,
one of the best car chases I've ever seen.
Snow was, and it was real snow.
Yeah,
it was unbelievable, and that's what I mean by old 70s movie.
It gets me mad, actually, that Singleton, who is he was a famous director, obviously, deservedly so, ended up doing a lot more television than features, which I think for fans of Boys in the Hood were a little surprised at, being breaking out as a writer director and then kind of becoming a TV director.
Right.
But it makes sense, because his work is so journeyman. It's so like those Bonanza episodes that Tarantino was talking about, like it's about somebody who just knows how to make a movie without any fancy stuff. It's just, it's mean, and it's lean, and it's basically shot with one lens. They don't change the look of it all the time. They shot it quickly, I think. And, it makes me miss those visceral kind of experiences, because a lot of movies just don't feel that way anymore. They don't
stuff
feel
in that car chase that I don't know how they did it.
I mean, either.
No,
that's what I'm saying. It makes me upset that it isn't, like, I don't know why I didn't just see that, why I just saw this movie and I'm just now falling in love with this car chase. I should have loved this car chase since 2005.
Yeah.
I don't know why its reputation, at least
even before then, before they made
before it was even made.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot. But I mean, I like this movie. I'm not crazy about it, but maybe I am crazy about it. I don't know. I may end up loving this movie. I may see this in 6 months again and decide, like, no, this is a classic. This is an absolute unheralded classic.
A lot of interesting stuff in it. There is race stuff in this movie that I don't think you could do today.
Maybe.
You know, characters saying, like, Wahlberg says the N-word a few times in the movie. I don't think you get away with that today.
You could not.
And
no, let's put it this way. He may be so if you know, you got to remember this was in the hands of John Singleton, who at that time was a big deal. So if if he says it's okay in that case, then maybe that could still be the case. But unfortunately, he's not around right now.
Yeah.
So.
And in the context of the movie and the relationships between those brothers, it never stands out.
No, well, I mean, they're horrible to each other in a great way.
Hey,
Like,
Sophie, why don't you do me a favor, clean up some of this shit, make yourself useful. Hey.
Honestly, the treatment of the women in the movie is the problem. Let's face it. It's there's plenty of brotherhood between white people and black people in this movie, but there's a lot of problems with the female characters.
La Vida Loca.
That is.
Don't let him talk to me like that.
You know, I mean, she's great, but she's really leaning into a character that I don't know that she would want to lean into today. Maybe that way,
spectacular.
But she's great in it.
I gotta say, everybody in the movie,
everybody's great. I mean, to cast Chiwetel Ejiofor, who's one of the most like sensitive, you know, emotional dudes, to cast him as this scene-chewing bad guy was brilliant. He's great.
The scene where he makes his henchmen get down on the floor and eat food off the floor like a dog,
and then makes his wife do it.
You want to come in my restaurant and eat? Go ahead, eat, dog, eat.
That's a good boy.
Bullshit.
Shut your mouth, bitch. I'll put you down there with him.
Wrap that shit up good.
Oh man, that is a rough scene.
It's a great scene. Ejiofor is great. I mean, it's just full of great performances. Barry Shabaka Henley is fantastic. Gernard Burks is great as the guy who has to eat dinner off the floor.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the brothers are all good, but the surrounding characters are just great. Josh Charles, who also knows he's in a noir gangster movie. I love that.
Yeah.
He's like plays the worst guy and does a great job. I mean, it's full of fun stuff, and again, it's not showy, you know.
No, and in terms of, you know, you keep mentioning noir. The most noir line in the movie to me is when Terrence Howard first sees Mark Wahlberg and says, "It's good to see you back for the funeral," and Mark Wahlberg says, "I didn't come back for the funeral," and that's when you know, like, okay, this is a revenge movie.
Yeah,
here we go.
It's a great, like, you know, what's the word for it? It's like a little Japanese haiku about being a tough guy right at that little moment. And it's full of those things. It's full of things that please noir fans and hard-boiled detective fans. I think the people that wrote it and made it knew their stuff.
Your hair, scumbag, taking off Victor Sweet's dead body.
Soundtrack. Now, I don't really care about soundtracks most of the time because, like, who cares?
Okay.
You don't mention the soundtrack. Here we go. Now, yeah, Stephen Jules, I was just going into it. It's got one of the best, like, when you're thinking old school, when they used to put the record out after the movie came out, and it was just basically great hit after hit from the 70s that you hadn't heard in a while. This is a great soundtrack.
That's a damn beautiful sound.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to ask you something, because I had a prediction that you were going to object to the music in this movie.
No, why?
Because I thought it was relying on the music to do some of the work that the filmmaking was already doing.
I see your point.
Another movie, I'm forgetting what movie it was, where you were saying, why were they using all those damn songs in this movie? What right did they have to use those songs in what movie was that was loaded with? It was just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it's possible I'm a total hypocrite and it's also possible that I didn't really like the songs in that film and didn't feel the songs actually helped, or they just kind of laid there. In this case, I think, you know, in this case, this is kind of a soundtracky kind of movie, and a guy like Singleton, I think of him and guys like Tarantino and Scorsese in a little club, kind of thinking about like, they're putting they're putting rock songs in their movies. They're putting stuff. Well, let me put my stuff in. And at that time, you know, if you had taste, if you yourself really had musical taste, or you had an incredible music supervisor, you know, there were certain movies that really like, where it was a great symbiotic relationship. I think this was one of those. He also just picked tracks that were, like he said, this was the dark side of you know, Detroit sound.
Right.
This was like the B-side cuts, the stuff that was a little dirtier. And I agree. And I thought that really, because it wasn't track after track of songs that were big hits. They were track after track of things like, oh, I kind of remember that song.
Right.
So
there were some choices like, you know, Jefferson Airplane, Want Somebody to Love at the beginning. I had no idea what that was doing there.
Didn't need it.
Look at mine.
Didn't need that either.
Didn't need that. Did not need that.
Don't understand it, in fact.
And you know, I think she's a brilliant actress. She did not seem comfortable in that sequence to me.
Why do you think? Well, there's a room full of strange men objectifying her and a joke she doesn't understand. But she's going to play it anyway.
Very nice. Very nice.
A great casting choice for that part. I mean, kind of like a cartoon version of Dear Old Mom, you know, in a way, apparently Singleton cast her because she was exactly his English teacher from like elementary school.
Okay, cool. Did you know, I'm going to go to some of the problems that I thought there were in the movie. One was
Maximum ugly.
Yeah, Maximum Ugly. I knew at the very beginning of the movie that one of the brothers was going to die and which one it was going to be. Right?
Okay. I knew. I guess I didn't know. I didn't know, but when it happened, I was like, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
There was zero shock, awe, disappointment, surprise, regret when that happened. I hate to admit this, but it was a brother they picked that I just didn't care about.
Yeah, and if they'd come to me and said, if they'd lined them all up against a wall and turned to me and put a gun to my head and say, okay, you got to pick one of them's going to die, yeah, I would have said that one.
I mean, I think
I took the money from Mom's insurance. I was going to pay the bribe.
Your mother was a whore.
Yes, you.
Hey, look, fuck you, man. I will kick your... Son of a bitch! Piece of shit.
Oh, yeah, that's where he gets killed, right?
Well, yeah, if you want to give stuff away, you can.
Well, I think we give a lot away in that. Yeah, okay. News alert. If you don't want the movie spoiled, don't listen to our show.
Yeah, I didn't care. You know, I gotta say, you're right about this. I didn't care. And I think it's a flaw of the movie. Like if this were going to be a movie that was hitting for greatness, and it really wouldn't have to do a lot, but it would have to have killed somebody you didn't expect. And it would maybe have involved killing, like, for instance, Mark Wahlberg's character.
My brother.
So that the young one had to actually rise up, you know?
Yeah.
You know, Volvos are one of the safest cars out there.
Because the rest of the movie is fairly light-hearted, so it's like they didn't really use the extra fuel that killing that brother gave them. They didn't... So they might as well kept him alive. And then they would have at least had him, you know, performing with his rock band at the wedding. Let's say they get, you know, La Vida Loca gets married and he gets to perform at the wedding. I'm remaking the movie right now, which is not a recommended thing for most people. But I think...
you can remake the movie. There are sections of this movie that you can remake.
I didn't. That was ineffective.
Yeah.
But there were things, that made up for it.
Running in the hall.
That was funny. No running in the hall I liked. I liked the fact that their weapon of choice was gasoline. They just liked to throw gasoline on people.
Yeah, that was good.
I'm looking what your my favorite. I was going to ask what your favorite scene was. Did you already say what your favorite scene?
My
is?
favorite scene was that car chase in the snow and the guy being chopped, his rope being chopped so that he fell into the
So good
stories.
And I want to talk about
favorite lines. I liked I forget who he's talking to, but he's talking to somebody who's Middle Eastern or something, and he says "Hastamam Aleichem." Or somebody at one point, Mark Wahlberg just goes,
messes it up.
Yeah, Hastamam Aleichem.
He just can't actually pronounce it.
So disrespectful, mashing everything together. And there was a line that was so good in this movie that I actually went to my bullet journal and opened up a page in my bullet journal to start writing down lines and sayings
from Mark Wahlberg movies.
But lines or phrases and sayings that I had never heard before that I love. And the line was, no, it wasn't the gnashing of the teeth, but it was, you keep knocking on the devil's door long enough and sooner or later somebody's going to answer.
It's my brother.
It's a good line.
Yeah, that's my brother is also a great line.
I liked put the cuckoo back in the clock.
Cuckoo back in the clock. That's a good line.
I thought you was a macho man, a tough guy.
They were really into having to be tough and macho, and I think they had just enough. They were poking just enough fun at them to both have kind of like to play both sides of this, where we could look at them and see them as emotionally stunted, not very bright, troublesome people, problematic people.
Yeah.
Or terrible people, in fact. But they were just bad enough at this and bumbling enough, and scrambling through this enough for you to kind of like them and be on their side. That's the thing I think that reminded me most of the 70s about it, was that it wasn't really interested in making these guys cleaning them up.
It's difficult to deal with mundane financial matters while your heart still grieves for a loved one.
How much do we get?
Yeah.
Great moment.
They're charmingly, they're ne'er-do-wells, but they're kind of charming. They're idiots, and they're kind of anti-heroes, and I guess that's what it is. We don't really see anti-hero movies a lot as much.
My brother.
Like
now,
this.
I'm going to jump in and say something about the cinematography because you're the expert in that. And I'm sure you're going to have lots more stuff to say. But I love those low angle shots of the brothers all the time. The camera down low, shooting them as they're walking toward, they shot them from below all the time. Whenever they're, four guys coming, being tough. Love that.
Well, you like that myth building stuff,
I do.
Yeah. DP Peter Menzies Jr. I forget what he did. Let me look that up really quickly. Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. He went on to do a lot of stuff.
That's myth building when they shoot you from below. Like, it's very Western. It's very much the cowboy coming in, being tough. I love that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of old school, traditional way of making people look heroic or menacing or tough or big, or admirable. I'm
going to start shooting myself from below, I think.
It also is a particularly unflattering look on many people who aren't in as good shape as these four brothers are, because they are in good shape. DP Peter Menzies Jr. I mean, come on. Die Hard with a Vengeance alone, A Time to Kill, Kangaroo Jack. He made a lot of very big movies, including Miss Congeniality.
Oh,
but he's a serious DP and also somebody who was in on this. So all that stuff was on purpose. The things about it that remind you of a noir or a Western or, you know, simple. I mean, I love that. I also just love I really think they really only used one lens on this whole thing.
Wow.
I think it looks like they just used a 35 and just shot everything with that, which is, you know, kind of old school. Then you'd pick lenses maybe once in a while for a glamour shot or for, you know, shooting some conversation scene. But for the most part, all this action carried over in one lens. And that's why everything cuts so well, partly. It's a really well edited movie, but I mean, just look at that car chase for one thing. Warning from experience, do not shoot
women, especially
older
older
from below
women
ever.
from below.
Oh, well. You know, Stephen Jules, that's good advice. However, people don't always follow it.
I don't think you should shoot women, period. Oh, you mean photograph?
Talk to me like that.
Don't say things like that. You're gonna get people mad at you. So plenty to enjoy here. I mean, I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, I gotta say this. Of all the movies we've seen this month so far about brothers, we're 3 in. This is the most brother vibe I got. This is where I actually felt these guys were brothers.
Yeah, we'll wait until next week. Next week, you're really going to get
that's the real truth is going to come out. But
yeah.
Anyway, this just felt like they captured that casual, somewhat cruel, but completely loving relationship.
Well, and the humor and stuff, like when you get you and me and Adam and Jed all together in a room, the level at which the humor and the love expresses itself through insults and teasing, and it's all there.
It's a little more physically violent in their case than it is for us, but I love the scene where Tyrese is throwing like 45 record spindles at them, just like winging them across the room for 5 minutes and just for no reason.
Actually, this makes what Adam and I used to do to each other when we were kids makes what they're doing in this movie look like child's play. We used to beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
It was really horrible.
Go sit at the other table.
Are you in trouble? He's on the timeout.
That was a great moment.
Love that. Shabaka. Barry Shabaka.
Sent to sit at the kids' table.
So good.
Oh my gosh.
I want to also mention another really smart, fun, cool thing. You notice, okay, the end of the movie is fun. I don't know if it's the most dynamic action ender that they could have figured out, but taking place out on that frozen lake in a whiteout, like
that ending of the movie. Okay, yeah. I got worried for a second because the other ending of the movie I hated.
What was that?
I'll give you $20 in this whole box of Baby Ruth. You see that house over there?
Yeah, the frozen lake scene. I thought by the ending of the movie you meant we're all gonna work on the house together now.
No, that they had to have that. They're gonna kill one of the brothers. They have to do that. You know that's happening. I mean, they shouldn't.
I'm selling candy to raise money for my baseball team. We want to buy new uniforms and equipment.
Thanks. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Plastic bag over the head. I love it.
Anyway.
That's a damn beautiful sound.
The noir twist. I've been trying to get this point out for 10 minutes. You know what? I'm not going to even.
I'm going to listen. I want to hear it.
I don't even want to say it. So I'm not saying it.
Please. I'll give you $5.
Who are you in the movie? Who am I?
No, I want to hear the point.
I don't want to because it's going to sound awful when I say it. I just realized it. No, well, I'm not going down. I'm not taking the bait. I'm not doing it. Who are you in the movie?
I'm not going to talk anymore until you tell me.
No.
All right.
Who are you in the movie?
Don't apologize.
Exactly.
I am. You're the bartender at the bar where they go to get the drink.
I don't even remember that part. So obviously it's me. You're right.
The tough guy bartender who's like looming and looming and looming and then helps them out. Like,
Oh,
sits
that
down
guy.
and talks
Okay.
to them.
I like that. All right.
Okay. I am the bad councilman who has to sit at the kiddie table.
Barry
That's
Shabaka.
Yeah,
Now go
that's
sit at the other table.
For a while.
That's
I
the role I would get cast in.
I had you there for a while.
Where did you end me up at?
I think you're Kenneth Walsh.
Yeah, I could see that. And what about who are you?
I'm Tony Napo, Charlie.
Which one was he?
He is the Italian guy who's in Chiwetel Ejiofor's crew with the spinach chin and the that guy.
Recasting.
That's it. Me and you. That's it.
No, I mean you didn't recast the whole movie.
I didn't recast it. It's too soon. 2005. They would cast the same guys.
Okay. How would you watch this movie?
I think the best place to watch this is on a late like a midnight train from Chicago to Salt Lake City or something.
Okay.
Like an Amtrak.
All right. I said in a vacant lot in Hamtramck, which is Hamtramck. It's a rough suburb of Detroit.
Oh, I know it well.
Yeah, Hamtramck.
Yes. Oh, the old days at Hamtramck.
Yeah.
Yes.
A vacant lot in Hamtramck while it's snowing lightly, passing a fifth of Evan Williams back and forth.
Why not have a giant burning oil drum
Yeah,
can?
you would need that. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
Great.
Double feature?
Sons of Katie Elder. I actually want to do that and see them both together. Like, for real.
I said Sons of Katie Elder is too obvious, so I think the production of The Three Sisters with Olivier, Alan Bates, Joan Plowright, and Derek Jacobi.
That's interesting. I like that. I would see that. I would definitely see that.
Pretty horrible.
No, I like that. I wish I'd come up with something creative like that. I don't know why I couldn't recast it. I guess because I think they'd all still be in it.
I said just
boyfriend. He was talking about cleaning a car.
Uh-oh. I said you, me, Adam, and Jed. Should do
That's kind of a white interpretation of this. I gotta say, I don't think that's gonna happen.
No, but at least we're brothers.
All right. Look, if
my brother.
Well, I'm not saying I won't do it, but we're getting recast.
Yes, we're definitely getting recast.
Yeah.
So next week we round this out. The Punching Brothers.
Punching Brothers. We're finishing off with a kind of a less
a feel good movie.
Yeah, the ultimate feel good movie. We're doing Dead Ringers, which is it's part of the Punching Brothers series, but it isn't real. It's not. It's worse than Punching. Let's put it that way.
It's worse than Punching. It's if you are faint of heart, do not watch this movie.
If you are faint of heart, cancel your subscription to this show.
What business is it of yours? Where I'm from? Friendo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to see it. Just cancel this, move on. You don't want to see Dead Ringers. It is David Cronenberg at his most artful, perhaps, and never more disturbing than this.
No, very, very upsetting.
Although I haven't seen Crimes of the Future, so I hear that will definitely, give disturbing a run for its money.
Oh, okay. Well,
is this show on? Have we been recording? Is it on? Did we stream this show?
Oh yeah, was anybody here and did
this went out onto the airwaves? Wow.
Oh, Bobby. Oh, it's so embarrassing. So next week, please come back.
Volvos are one of the safest cars out there.
What are we doing an ad for? Are we getting paid by Volvo for product placement now?
We have to now.
Did you make
now we have to, otherwise they will cancel us.
Yeah. Hello, goat. All right. So next week,
you want to make a bet that this was the only film that Mark Wahlberg's been in that also had a Volvo in it? I would actually think about making that bet.
You know, Volvos are one of the safest cars out there.
I actually loved that sequence when they were being sort of pretending to be cool with the police and doing that whole
thing, Jimmy Conn and Dad thing.
Yeah. I liked that a lot.
Andre 3000 making the getaway with a duffel bag full of cash is great.
Yeah.
Why is it that any musician that you could name is going to be a better actor than any actor you could name who's playing a musician?
Yeah, that's true.
Why is Andre 3000 so good? Like, why? There's no reason for that. He's a musical artist.
Yeah.
And he's also an actor.
Yeah. And so much better than the previous model, Andre 2000. The Andre 2000 was not nearly as good.
It's a step up.
Yeah.
It's a step up.
If you're going to get one, you want to
I think the Andre 2000 was CeeLo Green, in fact.
Okay. You just won the episode. You won the episode right there. And on that note, come watch the show next week. Dead Ringer, 1988. Jeremy Irons, Geneviève Bujold. Directed by David Cronenberg.
I hope y'all have a very nice evening.
Yes.
It's the only line he had.
Let's roll the credits.
Talking about cocktails that are stylish, movies great or phony, and how Tony should win a Matthew, and Matthew should win a Tony. But in the meantime, talking about film